Hello, people of Earth! Shady Dave here. I'm doing some experimenting with knock sensors, and I came across something really cool. Alright, well, first of all, I was trying to do a human interface, or an HID, using an Arduino, and I had the Della Nueve, or whatever. I had the Arduino Uno. None of them really seemed to work because they have, if I have one here, I can show you. Yeah. If you look at the way it's set up, it's got a separate chip for the USB, so you actually have to go in and fiddle around with the bootloader in order to get this thing to be recognized as a human interface device. And if you do that, you have to rewrite the bootloader every single time you want to change the software on here. So if you're having it do like key presses and whatnot, it's really not the board for the job. And I was really hoping I could find a board for the job, but alas, nothing has existed until now. I went on to Adafruit, the really neat adafruit.com website, and they have something called the Arduino Leonardo. I guess it's the latest and greatest Arduino on the planet. And one of the coolest features about it is, if you look at it, this is your USB. It uses like a micro USB. I don't know why they just didn't use standard mini USB. So you have to get a special USB connector for it, but that's fine. You'll notice that it doesn't have the chip, the USB driver chip. USB driver is now included in the bootloader on the friggin' Atmega chip, which is awesome. Really, really great idea. So now, whenever I plug it into my computer, it recognizes it automatically as a human interface device. And I can still upload stuff to it, just plain as day, just get the latest build for Arduino. And there are a couple of caveats, though. Make sure that you only use the keyboard commands and stuff if you're going to be using it as a human interface device when you have like buttons pressed or on actions. Don't have it just running all the time, putting jargon on a page automatically. If you do that, it makes it really, really difficult to program it. You have to sort of catch it in between a reset cycle, and it's terrible. So just, come up with a switch or something and just put it on there, and, I'm switching it to keyboard or, output mode. You flick the switch and in your code have it read that. Here's the deal. I'm trying to build a poster where you crumple up a piece of paper and you throw it at the poster, and all of a sudden it will play a music track or skip to the next track or do something, right? I couldn't do this with a standard switch, like a contact switch, because it's difficult to sort of get that thing to sort of go reliably. You'd have to hit it with a certain amount of force each time. It's a little strange. So what I decided to do instead was I'm using a contact mic. Got this little guy here from Adafruit. It's a neat little dealie. Essentially, it's a piezo buzzer, but if you wire it up and use it properly, you can actually turn this into a knock sensor, which is pretty cool. I have a larger one attached right now. This is a larger sort of disc piezo buzzer. I'm probably going to be using this for right now I'm prototyping it, but I'm probably going to use this for the final version. If you look at it, I have put a layer of acrylic or some sort of like a resin, plastic resin on there, epoxy, to keep it from sort of snapping the wires off, because these connections, they're really, really fragile. So you want to take care with those. So I just covered the whole top of it. It's a little thing I learned from Colin Cunningham on Make Magazine. This is actually working pretty good, but I'm getting some unexpected results. Anyway, I'm going to show you the code and show you what I did to do cool stuff. Okay, so here's the code. I have the knock sensor equaling, I'm just putting in some variables here, so just for the sake of semantic language, I'm calling the knock sensor 5, so that when I reference it down here, I'm saying val equals analog read, so I'm telling it to read the analog pin knock sensor, which is 5. So read pin 5. If val equals threshold, so up here I have a threshold of 1. So if it's greater than or equal to 1, keyboard right 215. And 215 is the ASCII number for right arrow. Now you'll notice when I hit that, I have this neat little sort of bumpy sound. That's just because I'm at the end of the line, and it's like a kind of like a little error sound. You can't go any further, it's saying. But I found out something really cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in the Arduino. The knock sensor is actually so sensitive now that I can pick up my pulse on it. Isn't that cool? That's just this is my thumb and forefinger. Here. If I just hold on to it very lightly, there, it's picking up 1 pulse. The idea was I would mount the poster on some sort of a foam core, and I'd stick this little guy onto it like this. Boop. Okay, just throw it onto the back of the poster, so the printed side would be this side, and when somebody balls up a piece of paper and smacks the board with it, I would get, you know, the right key thing. So the poster would probably say something like, hey, you know, throw a piece of paper at me if you don't like the track. And because I have it on the next track button, or the right arrow, it would just skip to the next track. So a lot of offices have computers sort of hanging around, not really doing anything. It's like old, outdated technology. Fortunately, it doesn't take a lot of processing power to run your basic MP3 player or, you know, streaming music service. So what you can do is you take one of these old computers, upcycle it to this crazy poster thing, and have that running in the background playing RDO or iTunes or something like that. You know, some basic subscription music service or your own private MP3. Throw it on some wireless speakers like Sonos speakers or something, and boom, you know, you've got it made. So I'll show you what the final prototype looks like soon, and if I can get it working.